we have some fresh LPL players who've been playing for a little bit now, and you have to, at a certain point, you're like, okay, we're getting comfortable into this game 3 scenario. What can we do? What is different? What are things that we have learned from our past couple of series, the games that we've been able to win? What has that gotten us? How do we replicate that experience?
Yeah.
And against JDG, you're looking at a whole lineup of veterans who have been in this situation more times than probably the whole team.
Well, back to JDG's home arena in Beijing we go. JDG will be on the blue side for this final game. AL on that red side. JDG ban away the Lucian, the Melio, and the Yumi. And we'll see on AL side, they got that Nico out of there, thankfully, and the Jace, and the Annie. All the bans going towards Knight. And we got a first pick on the table as Ari comes up big again.
Ooh, giving Knight such a proactive mid laner, something that gives him the ability to limiting wave as well as find solo picks onto a side lane. Much different of a look compared to what we got in the past couple games. Excited to see it as anyone's Legends, they can keep it pretty flexible if they want. I love that we're getting the Gragas, has some of that flex potential. Getting a strong AD carry, that Jinx is perfect. It is designed, will not have the peel, but any kind of Jinx composition, it's single kill for a game to be turned on its head.
Yeah, you can just ride that momentum. And I actually appreciate the Gragas pick here, as well as the flexibility. It just has a lot of space making that can be said in a lot of the team fights that JDG's looking to take. They will get that classic combo, though, of the Ahri and the Vi, which is already so deadly on a single target. And then they also get Ruler the Aphelios yet again.
Now, for anyone's Legends, they could go for their jungle pick. It is the most likely. They could also slam support here up against a Knight, try to take away something, get something that will be able to answer the Ahri, the Aphelios, as this Nautilus comes in for them. Now, bans for anyone's Legends should be focused on supports, getting rid of more of those enchanters. Lulu should be probably first up, but Missing's Renata is actually going to be taken away immediately.
Got to take away what is still available and what was still strong. You don't want to deal with that again. We also get the Kazakh's respect ban towards Xiaohao, which I do expect to continue to see jungle bans from JDG. Xiaohao has actually been a pretty big focus from JDG so far in the series.
They've been making sure that he can't do it. You saw 369 in the interview say jungle is their core, the part that we need to be looking out for as JDG. And by giving him as many bans as they probably want, probably feeling very good about that. Getting rid of the Braum now, what do JDG go for in terms of the support pick here? Because there's not very many options left. With AOL, with the draft coming back onto their side, they're going to be able to pick. That Gnar ban is critical, as that was something we had pointed out right before, after game 1.
Also shows that they're thinking this Gragas maybe going over to harder this time around. There's still some very aggressive center junglers to be had on the picks, and oh well, there's one of them. Xiaohao's gonna be whipping out the Kindred.
Good way to survive. We're talking about getting the Vi to engage onto the Jinx. Well, now there's a Kindred ultimate. What do you do at this point? JDG going to need to be very aggressive in the jungle, try to get this Kindred off the mark, but doesn't have mid priority. I wonder what the mid laner here for Harder is going to be. Could end up still being that Gragas if they want to survive the laning phase. Really trying to see what 369 is going to pick up here from the top.
You know, we were talking about underdog stories. We're talking about this, that, and the other. Expectations defied, re-honing in on expectations. Well, Xiaohao, this is a first competitive Kindred for him, at least on stage, that is recorded, which I just love, taking into Kanavi, who himself is a Kindred enjoyer in his past. And the fact that you have the confidence to do that, right? That is something from the get-go that AL has not been shy about. They don't feel like they're a worse team. They feel like they can take the fight toe-to-toe to a Titan like JDG, and they grab that tried and true combo that I feel like we haven't seen in so long, and it's the Galio with the Kindred.
You know, I was gonna say it's been a while since I've seen a Galio, but the Thunder Talk versus Ultra Prime series made me watch a support Galio. So it's not as uncommon as maybe I would have liked, but it is pretty rare a sight to see this for Harder, a much more supportive mid laner here, going to be taking away a little bit of damage. So expect for ZDZ to be going for that AP Gragas build. This magic damage is not very good on anyone's Legends here.
But that's the thing. We put so much focus on this jungle setup. The mid-jungle duo is as important as ever, getting control early in this last game. And you're going to have a bit of rolling momentum from anyone's Legend side.
They need to find a kill. They need to find a pick. They need to be able to get Kanavi off on the wrong foot. Maybe do something a little bit akin to what we got in game 1, where you saw we saw Xiaohao get right into the face of Kanavi and stop him from being able to do anything on the Vi versus the Nocturne.
We set expectations a long time ago, it feels like, at the beginning of this series, just 2 games ago, going into our 3rd. But at this point, it is that best of 1 you highlighted earlier. It is anyone's Legend taking the fight to JDG, while JDG are on a bit of a momentum swing up in game and out of game, sitting at 5-0. They are Titans as strong as ever, and AL need to climb that mountain once again. We're in game number 3 now, JDG versus anyone's Legend.
Let's see if anyone's Legends have brought the dynamite here. I love it. You know, we talked about, hey, bringing out the Kindred against Kanavi feels like a lot of confidence coming out from them, coming out from Xiaohao, and they also pull out the Galio. Like, we're in new territory here. We talked about how mid lane has been a facilitator role, but this is a completely different look. As DD in, I mean, I was gonna say if they could have been any further, Kanavi is right there, ready to go in.
I just love the confidence from ZDZ. He says, I know 369's there. I'm going to trade with him a little bit. Let's see what his health bar can take. But I do want to also focus in the style of approach for these mid laners. Yeah, the spell book from Harder, which has provided them a lot of potential changes going further. And AL looking for a level 1 that JDG has sniffed out. Missing Caesar coming around the corner. And Knight 369 will be here to answer. We could have a big tussle on our hands as Missing goes around the corner here too. As Ruler, you've overextended anyone's Legend. That's going to be punished immediately by JDG. The flash comes through. They're not going to commit anything else here, but Missing might go for it. There's the Ignite and one more auto attack. First blood to JDG.
5 people participated with that kill. Everybody got a piece of the pie there. That's every summoner out of the from Missing and 369. Zora just going way too far up. We thought maybe there was going to be able to find something, find an additional bit of chunk onto someone, and we wanted them to play aggressive up against Kanavi, but now it completely backfires for them. Shichoyi will not have access to this bottom lane wave, and arriving late just means missing on that level 2. We talked about how difficult Shichoyi has been in lane to kind of get any kind of leads, and this is definitely not helping.
Hopefully Zora can make the difference there, but they'll definitely be playing with a little bit more confidence on bottom side now for Ruler. But Xiaohao transitioning up towards this top side of the map, maybe going for that 50-50 on the top side scuttle here. Get those early stacks going. Again, an importance that needs to be remembered going forward is that Kindred stacking and how this is going to play around these duo matchups. I expect Xiaohao and Harder to link up consistently.
Well, they need to be able to move out of mid lane right now. And Harder caught.
Yeah, Harder's in a bit of a rough one. Not hovering on his side of the jungle matchup there, and he just goes down to Knight. As Xiaohao might actually have an angle here. ZDZ going to bait him out. 369 feeling confident, realizes there's something gone wrong here. Somebody smelled me out, and 369 going to make it away. Maybe, no, one more auto, and even delays it for a second as Xiaohao gets AL on the board.
That'll be 2 marks here for Xiaohao, and a great time for a reset out of ZDZ, who's looking to get bailed out of that after an insanely good trade for 3-9. Zora and Missing now hovering around mid lane. No one else but the supports here. They're trying to make this play in a Knight.
Ooh, Charm doesn't connect there. Nice little moment, though, because it forces Harder to flash.
I don't understand what ticking for with that trade, just because
To fight, man.
I know, but they have the.
I know you're new here, man.
Okay,
but
all right,
we
okay.
fighting, all right? We fight.
I know. Back in the homeland of North America, we'd be resident sleeper right about now. They don't have a lot of damage. Harder did switch to the ignite, but it's a Galio who doesn't have a lot of AP, who actually went for the Merc trades first. That item, I mean, maybe they're trying to bait for a flash out of Knight, but really, I think overextending themselves on the side of Anyone's Legend, and they're feeling that they're getting a little bit more desperate for everybody that isn't Xiao Hao.
But it has to be, right? Like, you need to try to find any advantage you can, because you know what happens after that 25-minute mark. Your nightmares, whatever your worst feeling is, that's what's going to come to life, because JDG are just that lethal when you get to those big deciding 5v5 moments that take good macro decision-making ahead of time to execute.
Well, 3 minutes now. Let's see how they'll set up this Dragon. Zora.
There's the flash from Zora to try to get Knight. Ooh, Knight going to be engaged on here, and a huge combo comes through. Now Kanavi all by himself in a 1v3, just trying to get something back, but cannot. Another mark to Xiao Hao. And AL, they're punching back.
There we go. That's exactly what we want to see. Knight just being way too aggressive in that position. So now what's going to happen? Anyone's Legend, they're going to be able to grab the Rift Herald in topside, immediately move that down, and be ready for the Dragon in its time. That was a pretty big misplay and a window now for Anyone's Legend to be back into this game. Be ready for this. Let's take a look at what happened. Coming out of base. Oh, okay, wait a minute. 1K, 800. Oh my god, that's so close.
The flash, that's so clutch from Kanavi. And what would you expect from an MSI, a winning jungler, and a key component to JDG's moments when they find a lot of that early success as well? But it's still AL.
Ruler here, maybe even find a kill onto ZDZ. The ultimate is coming up, is available. But
they're just hard tanking this turret. Kanavi has taken 3 shots. There's a 4th. They will go down as the combo finally comes through from Harder and Xiao Hao. Mega Death Rocket goes a little bit wide there, but Kanavi has given his life, and now the Rift Terror won't be able to be used up here.
Exactly. That is a massive misplay, and when Kanavi respawns, the timer on this Herald is going to be very short. He's going to have to drop it almost immediately, leaving base. I mean, the Rift Herald's going to expire soon, so Kanavi has to spawn this. Maybe trying to look for, I mean, he literally just has to use it. It's going to go down a little bit. There's a bear and a Mars bear. There's a dragon already being started. Ultimate to pull away JDG.
That is actually a moment that Kanavi could go in. He's not going to pull the trigger there, but AL will. They're going to go straight in, but getting engaged on by Missing, who hits the backline with a big grand entrance, but they can't follow it up. Now AL in a bit of a front to back. Zora is able to tank out, but here comes the Moonlight Vigil. Ruler's trying to make the difference. The shots ring out, and Ruler finds the kill. Zora getting low on the fight with the Lamb's Respite, though. It's getting a little bit low for AL, and ZDZ gets chased down. Ruler wants to find the last shot onto Zora, and he will, but it's actually Knight that gets that double, and huge fight win, a clean ace for JDG.
Just take a look about in the replay. The charm as well from Knight pulls members out of the land so that they can find these kills. Insane stuff from almost every member of JDG. They know exactly what they need to do in these team fights, and it's their job that they execute perfectly.
And AL just can't find that clear-cut move into the fight, and they get caught waiting for it.
Oh, there, right? Like, they knocked them all out. They got their kill. We talked about that clean ace. How is this Rift Herald still available for JDG? That is the longest cooldown. Even when we want to be challengers to some of the best teams, we don't feel like we're anywhere below them. I have to hold this as Kanavi's on a flank, has not been. Whoa!
Engage. Missing, going in. You got the reset, though. Jitoi, he's on fire right now, but Ruler wants to step up to the plate. He does get all those chakrams. That means AL should back off here. That red-white Ruler is looking for the fight, but Harder will be able to position a decent amount of tankiness here, and ultis that are still available for AL means they want to take this Rift Herald fight. It's crazy to me. We're getting such contested fights only 16 minutes in. That Rift Herald goes down, but I don't think AL AL can get the eye. Here comes 369. Ruler still has the Calibrum and the Chakrams. ZDZ wants to claim it. He does get it, but Knight should get this reset here. And there goes one. 369 on the other side. Knight can't find that charm, but 369 finds the all out. And right as the heroic entrance comes through, Ruler able to Gale Force him down.
That game one was a blip on the radar for them, as Kanavi, I think, trying to flash ult. Yeah, and just a little bit of a mechanical display coming out from him.
That's a lost vision at the last second. Man, Ruler is literally the front line right now, though, which I think is crazy because AL, they are in such an awkward position.
They're now sandwiched. They were trying to maybe start up this. Who picks it up afterwards? It is going to be going over to ZDZ, and we've seen this fight already. Let's take a look at this Dragon, half health here. ZDZ coming in on the back line, but Ruler has just now arrived, and they have the Rift Herald in mid from JDG.
We didn't get a chance to see the item completions. We don't know how these fights are coming down, but it is obvious that AL want no part of it in any way. Second Dragon to JDG.
I love that, and the Rift Herald isn't anything, so JDG just have their cake and eat it too at this point. They're even gonna grab a mid-tier one. It is all going to here for anyone's legend, as they are unable to make any kind of plays right now. ZDZ sitting on a side lane. They're gonna go right onto Gragas.
Going golden though is buying a lot of time. Does still just get locked down to hell, and Knight picks up another one. That's more pages in the book.
No.
Spirit Rush activated, and here comes Knight one more. No, not gonna go for it. There he goes. Body slam back. ZDZ. He goes golden though, and he's too good because Missing steps up. Mega Death Rocket not gonna get through. Missing. What is happening, Knight? You just injured your team, man. He tried to TP out, and AL fully capitalized on that bad boy. Harder's in trouble though, and that's an all-out 369 that actually connects onto Xiaohao. He is just a non-tanky marksman, and Joey has to step up and say, guys, chill. Ruler's like, nah, fam. No, I don't want to. He goes down. Lamb's Respite comes through, but the Moonlight Vigil rings true as well. A double kill for the measuring stick of the LPL.
I love the gumption from Knight, and maybe if Nightmare was here, he'd be able to tell you how bad this Ahri build is in terms of the damage. But guess what? He's not here right now, and we get to see Knight try to build himself. I love that ZDZ tries to go for this, and this should have been Knight backing up, walking out of this. Didn't think that Zora would be here.
Missing your G.
Yeah, I mean, that's what happens with that's just the natural interaction with the battle dance coming out from Rakan. He ends up behind his ally.
Still have about a minute and 10 for that Dragon. It just means that JDG are looking for fights as much as possible. Harder doesn't have any way out. He does go for that taunt back. You got a bit of a fight back. Can Zutoi get on fire here? He cannot. You got Knight getting some Spirit Rush stacks here. Can't connect another charm. But JDG find what they were looking for, and even more, with 2 kills.
But I think it's just too desperate. They don't even know that it's happening right. They can't walk over the solo lane.
He body slammed into the charm. Knight's like, we'll take that fight all out for 369. He's fighting Totoi, who doesn't have any mana, and he goes down. Knight's ripping him a new one here. ZDZ's out, but it's a catch on Azora. Baron Capes are overwhelming anyone's legend. Disparaging, and you see some of these moments where it's like, okay, how are you fighting these kinds of situations? They are a team that is a different trajectory than JDG. They are a team that is looking at development, trying to find the right pieces for themselves, while JDG are bound for world champion status, right? Like, they are very, very different. And the fact that we do see a longevity fight like this going the way of JDG just feels natural. You're trying to find that consistency with this team for anyone's legend.
And I love it. I love the fact that we have seen some aggressive. But there's just another fight, man.
Can't stop. At this point, we can just keep talking while JDG pick apart the remaining pieces of the carcass that was anyone's legend. Jitoi goes down. He may be a rookie's org, might be opting in to the developmental strategy, but JDG know where their sights are held, and it's on a 6-win streak in the summer split. They might have fallen coming in. You might call it some MSI hangover, but they are no longer that. They are dominant. They are a huge force to be reckoned with, as our defending MSI champions will take a 2-1 victory over anyone's legend.
There we go. final touches there. Unfortunately, they lost in their home arena, but can't be mad with a victory
No interview,
at the
though.
end of the day. No interview, like we said, for anyone's legend. They're going to go ahead and do that walk across the stage, do some congratulatory for the opponent, do their bows. What a fantastic job from JDG coming into this game. They have bounced back completely. We obviously expected them to win, but the fight that Anyone Legends was showing throughout all of these games was valiant, was, you know, something to be applauded. And we've been talking about their full squad. Well, I'm excited to continue seeing how this squad evolves throughout the season.